Hi, in this short video we're going to take a quick look at how Waltz uses sections in the user interface. We're going to try and address a small issue that's been raised and add a new section to one existing page within Waltz. So let's get started. Let's have a quick look at the issue we're going to try and fix. Okay, so there's an issue here. On the flow diagram page we wish to add the section entity name notes. So for a quick recap of what sections are on a Waltz page, so this is their flow diagram page, which you can get to via, if you say look at this and you've got a diagram, you can look at the diagram, which is basically just uses the Waltz flow information. You can draw out a small picture or large picture illustrating a flow. You can also view these pages by themselves, these diagrams, and it kind of turns it into its own Waltz entity, from which you've got this effectively bill of materials of everything that's mentioned in here. So we've got 3 apps, so you can then say show me those apps, a bit more information about those apps, show me the ratings of those apps, etc. So this issue 4935 is about adding the entity name notes section to this. So to do that we want to find out how does this get populated and add the entity name note section to that. So let's start 4935. So over in my cloned thing from an earlier video, I'm going to create the new branch, which I've actually already got prepared. We've got a checkout. We typically go with the following naming convention: Waltz hyphen, then the issue number, and then a bit of free text describing what they are, so that reviewers, etc., and yourself would know when you're looking through your list what each branch refers to. So I'm going to check that one out, and I'm going to try and find this page, the flow diagram page. Waltz has fairly obvious naming conventions most of the time, so let's have a quick look. So flow diagram, let's say HTML. We've got a view page there. We've got the editor view, so we're probably going for the view page. So we've got the page header, so we're saying that this thing, just to verify that we're on the right place, we've got diagram name with a picture and flow diagram after it. So diagram name with a picture and flow diagram. Okay, we could quickly just do that. That's in the breadcrumbs, actually, that's up here, so we should see an exclamation mark appear there. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we're definitely on the right place. Get rid of that before we forget. Right, so we know the sections appear after the diagram and after this little table. So it's pretty much the last bit of this, so let's just jump forward to the end of that. And we can see, okay, here navigation. We see we've got this dynamic section navigation. So this is a common control used throughout Waltz. Whenever you see this sort of navigation control, then it's this thing that's doing it. It's the dynamic section navigation. So let's have a look at the dynamic section manager. This thing, it looks quite scary and complicated. However, we see that it's bringing in the sections from the dynamic sections definitions. So I'm going to navigate to this file, control home. We can see we've got all these different sections. So we've got sections with their component IDs, a name, desktop, and a numeric ID. We can see these in action in a way, because when you open a section in Waltz, you quite often have these little pop-outs, which is to show it in isolation by itself. So you can see in this case the URL is switched to embedded/internal/flow diagram 1, which is the entity. This is the first flow diagram in this instance of Waltz, and the section is 16. So we go back here and let's have a quick look back at ID 16. We see that's the ratings that we were just looking at. Okay, so one of these should be the entity name section. Entity section named note section. Haha, here we go. There's an entity names note section here, which is section 10. That was just a great big list of all of the sections, and then here we can see this is how for each page, so each entity type, so the application page has the following sections, actor, etc. We should eventually find one for the flow diagram. This pack, when you see pack, that's just saying I want to stack, or I want to turn that into effectively a drop down menu, because I've got a bunch of related sections. Okay, so we need to add in our entity name note section. You don't really have to worry about the ordering. Waltz will just sort them alphabetically based on that name. The only exception to that rule is the change log, which always comes last. So we'll see here the changes is always last. This page should refresh. Webpack's picked up the change. We should see now we have the notes section. Here we go. We've got no notes, and we haven't got any option to add any either. This could be due to one or two things. I'm currently logged in as admin. Do I have permission? Let's check. Oh, I haven't got very many. I'll just add more permissions. Oh, it's not likely to be that, but we'll check anyway. So we look there, we've got the section, no notes have been added. Let's just pop this open now so we don't have to keep opening it. So we're now focused on this section. That's also because the notes are effectively strongly typed. Let me bring Waltz up again to the admin page. And let's add a entity note for that type. So in here, I'm going to add one here. Call it test note. Actually, it's a test note type. Blah. And this is pretty. We need to improve the rendering on here. It's just an admin screen. This is just expecting a comma separated list of entity types which it's applicable for. So if we just show you actually that in action, I give it 2, and we should save that. You can see it's turned it into application flow diagram. So now if we go back to here, refresh, we should have an add note, and now we can add a test note type. Ooh, a bit ridiculous doing it in full. This is just standard markdown. Right, we go back, look in there just to check it's all working. We've got now the entity note section embedded on the flow diagram page. There we go. So let's go back into code, review our commit, make sure we haven't got anything spurious in there. We've got that, so that's the change. We added entity name note section. That's all we've had to do to fix that. So let's put a commit message in. And we usually reference the issue number as well, which I can see down there, so I'll remember it. So 4935. Now I hit a commit and push. Last chance to check. Push this up. Okay, so now go back up to Waltz, into here, the home page. I've done it straight off my clone from Finos Waltz. You can see it's there. Do a compare and pull request. There we go. We can say, okay, I wanted a reviewer, and let's choose Rohit, and I'll add another reviewer just in case. Cameron, Salim. Create the pull request. We've got that 4935, which will basically link it to the issue. We can now see the continuous build is taking place, so that's going to build for Maria, H2 and Postgres, and just verify that there's no errors in the build. When you're doing this, you might get an error about the CLA check, which is because as part of being a Finos project, we need contributor license agreements, either individual, ICLAs or corporate. If you hit problems with that, let us know and we'll sort you out. Okay, I think that covers everything. Thank you for watching.